I've been walking with a heavy mind, counting losses, measuring time. Every promise felt so far away, every prayer learned how to wait. I traced my steps through broken plans, tried to hold what slipped my hands. I asked you why the road stayed long when I was trying to be strong.
I saw you standing in between what you hoped for, what you've seen. Faith was forming in the dark, every tear became a spark. You don't grow trust in open skies, it's born where every answer hides. The ground feels weak beneath your feet, but that's where grace and fear both meet.
So we breathe
Through doubt and pain, learning how to trust again.
yeah.
Every fear we couldn't hide becomes the place where faith resides.
I mistook silence for your absence, thought delay meant you were gone. But even in the quiet nights, your mercy kept me holding on.
I tried to rush what needed time, force the healing, cross the line, but patience whispered through the weight.
You're not late, you're not late.
God does not move
By human clock,
He fills the heart.
before the doors unlock.
What feels like lock,
What feels unclear,
it shall be.
you sure shall be. You sure shall be. I ask for answers every morning, as if the day depended on them. I search for meaning in conclusions and strength in knowing where I land.
I question silence like a problem, measured faith by what was said. I thought belief required reasons, and peace arrived once doubt had fled.
My prayers were shaped like negotiations, carefully arranged in time. I spoke as if clarity was old, before I placed my trust behind.
God does not wait for perfect questions or hurry truth to calm your fear. Some things are known without explanation, stay when answers disappear.
You don't lose faith when asking ends, or fall when words grow few.
Some trust begins where questions stop and God remains with you. So we rest
From asking why,
we stay
where truth is near,
believing God
is present
here.
I noticed something stayed with me when questions loosen their demand.
Not clarity, not certainty, but peace I didn't understand. The quiet didn't leave me empty, it felt inhabited somehow, like something faithful stood beside me when I stopped needing days when questions fall away is deeper than reply. It's trust that stands without a script and learns to simply rely. So I will stay
without demand
and trust the ground
where I now stand. I will stay and
let it be that God is here with me.
I stop rehearsing every doubt
And learn to breathe again.
need to know what came next.
No longer ruled my hands.
My faith fell lighter without answers.
Not weak or not unsure.
It stood on something steadier
Then logic could secure. I didn't find the words I sought or solve the fear I named. I found a God who stayed with me and quietly remained.
You don't lose direction by surrender
Or faith by resting still. God is not found in certainty, but present in His will.
What stays when asking fades away is
Stronger than belief.
it's knowing God remains with you beyond the need to speak.
Who we trust without answer. Who we remain without proof. Believing God is enough. Is enough.
If you've been asking every question,
And still feel unsure where you stand. Remember, God may already be the answer, holding in your hands.
so here I am.
Without a plea, and find my God still here with me.
I wanted faith that moved like fire, that burned away the space of doubt. I thought belief was forward motion, a constant rush to figure out. I measured trust by answered prayers and counted time by open doors. I thought delay meant something failed, or that I'd miss what mattered most.
My heart grew restless in the waiting, as if stillness was a sign that heaven had grown distant or forgotten me in time.
Yeah, faith was never meant to hurry or outrun the work of God. Some truths arrive by standing still on unannounced, quiet ground.
You don't lose faith by waiting long, or fail by staying slow. Faith learns its deepest language in places you don't go.
Oh, wait.
Without delay,
We trust what we can't name. Oh, believing God is faithful here.
without delay,
We trust what we can't name. Oh, believing God is faithful here.
I learned how much of my impatience was a mask of holy zeal. I confused desire for direction and movement for what's real. Waiting felt like falling backward, like releasing what I knew. But faith kept forming underneath where trust was growing new.
I stopped insisting on the outcome and listened for the now.
The waiting didn't end my calling, it showed me where I stand.
And now God does not not delay His purpose or forget the steps you take.
He builds endurance in the soul while shaping what will wake. What feels like pause is often preparation hidden from your sight. Faith matures in unseen rooms long before it meets the light.
So I will wait
and not resist
the holy work
I cannot fix.
I will wait
And learn to see
that faith is growing quietly.
Silence stopped accusing me when I let it simply stay. I learned that faith does not demand to understand the way.
My prayers grew less impatient, more honest, less arranged.
I trusted God was still at work even when nothing changed.
Waiting didn't shrink my vision, it refined what I could hold.
It taught my heart to recognize the value of the slow.
You don't waste the days of waiting
Or lose the ground you stand.
God is present in the process,
More than in the plan.
what you think is standing still is strength being aligned.
Faith that learns to wait on God is never left behind.
We remain
Without control.
We trust without proof.
Without control.
We believe
Without control. Without control. If the waiting feels too heavy
and the answers feel delayed,
remember faith is not in motion but in trusting God's own pace.
so here I wait
With open hands
and let my faith become what stands. Try to hold what still was standing, count the damage, name the cost. But every answer I assembled felt unfinished, spent or lost.
The wind exposed what I relied on, what could bend and what would break. I watched my strength revise its meaning as the ground began to shake.
Storms do not erase your story, they reveal what truly stays. They strip the noise from borrowed confidence, and teach
the heart new ways.
you don't survive by standing louder, or by fighting every gust. You learn to stay where grace is rooted, and let the storm rebuild your trust.
So we remain when walls are thin. We breathe where fear has been, believing God is nearer now. I thought recovery meant returning to the shape I wore turning layers. Yeah. Not the kind that ends all fear, but one that lives beside the questions, and stays honest, stays sincere. Ooh.
The storm no longer had a voice that ruled my inner space.
Its echo softened into wisdom, time and mercy interlace.
I learned that strength is not a pair
Of what the storm erased. It's building faith from gentler truths that suffer and unveil. You don't go back to who you were when storms have had their say. You move ahead with deeper roots, and clearer, humbler ways. God walks with you through altered ground and calls you still His own. What rises after everything is faith more fully grown. We trust what remains. We walk from what fell away, believing God is faithful still. If the storm has changed your footing, and the path feels unfamiliar, remember God is not behind you. He is present in the aftermath.
So here I stand, not as before,
but shaped by grace and nothing more.
I thought by now I would be further. I thought the road would feel more clear. But every step keeps asking patience, and every prayer still sounds sincere. I keep comparing where I am to where I thought I'd be by now, wondering if I missed your timing or misunderstood the sound.
You're not behind, you're not forgotten. This road was never meant to rush. Some answers only come with seasons. Some growth requires learning trust. You're still becoming, still unfolding, even when it feels unclear. Waiting doesn't mean you're failing. It means God is working here. So we breathe in hope and breathe out fear, learning to stay right here.
There were days I tried to force it, tried to move ahead of grace. I mistook control for courage and speed for keeping faith.
I asked you why the door stayed closed when my heart was ready to run. But closed doors taught my spirit what open ones had never done.
God does not delay without purpose.
He does not waste a single tear.
Every pause is shaping something. You'll understand when it's revealed.
What feels like standing still today is strength being quietly built.
Some prayers changed me more than outcomes. Some silence taught me how to hear. I learned that faith is not demanding, but staying close when answers aren't near.
I stopped chasing quick solutions and started choosing daily grace, letting God define the timing instead of racing toward the end.
Waiting doesn't cancel calling. It refines the way you hear. God prepares the heart in secret before the promise appears.
You're not losing ground by trusting. You're not weak for standing still. You are learning holy patience
And surrendering your will.
We wait,
But we remain
we hope,
without control,
we try.
without proof, believing God is still at work.
If you're tired of unanswered prayers and want from standing in between,
Remember, growth is often hidden, and faith is stronger than it seems. So
I'm still walking through the unknown, still faithful, even here alone. I'm still walking with open hands, my future inside your plans. I'm still trusting, I'm still standing in the waiting. I'm still walking, I'm still standing in the waiting. I'm still walking.
I've been holding everything together, afraid that if I stop it all will fall. I kept my guard up, heart protected, trying to be strong through it all.
I prayed for peace but kept the tension. I asked for rest but wouldn't slow. I trusted you with my tomorrow, but struggled to let today go.
Rest is not the absence of a struggle, it's choosing where your heart will stay. You don't find peace by fixing everything, you find it by trusting me.
You were never meant to carry what was never yours to hold. Some burdens only lift when you finally let them go.
So we pause without answers, we release what we can't control. We breathe and remember God is still God. There were moments I felt guilty resting, as if stillness meant I didn't care.
I confused constant motion with obedience
And exhaustion with sincere prayer.
I thought faith required striving, proving I was standing strong. But you met me in my weakness and showed me where I belong.
Rest is an act of deep surrender, not a sign that faith is gone. It's trusting God enough to stop and believe He's working on. You don't need to rush the healing, you don't need to force the change. What I start, I will complete. My timing is not late.
So I choose to rest inside your hands, stop resisting what you feel. I stopped demanding clear direction and started trusting daily grace. One surrendered breath at a time, I found my safe place.
God does not call you to collapse. He calls you to be restored. Strength returns through stillness when your hope is in the Lord.
You are not behind for resting. You are not weak for letting go.
You are learning holy trust, and that's how faith grows. We wait without build. No, we trust
Without proof, yeah, we wait
without fear. Believing God is near.
If you're weary from carrying tomorrow and tired of fighting today,
Lay it down before the Father and let Him lead the way. So I'm learning to rest right here,
right now,
I'm learning to rest without answers,
without vows,
I'm learning to rest and let God be God over every part of me. Yeah. I'm learning to rest. I'm learning to rest.
Mm. Oh. Mm.
I've been walking with a heavy mind, counting losses, measuring time. Every promise felt so far away. Every prayer learned how to wait. I traced my steps through broken plans, tried to hold what slipped my hands. I asked you why the road stayed long when I was trying to be strong.
I saw you standing in between what you hoped for, what you've seen. Faith was forming in the dark. Every tear became a spark. You don't grow trust in open skies. It's born where every answer hides. The ground feels weak beneath your feet,
But that's what grace and fear both
meet.
So we breathe through doubt and pain, learning how to trust again. Every fear we couldn't hide becomes a place where faith resides.
I mistook silence for your absence. Thought delay meant you were gone. But even in the quiet nights, your mercy kept me holding on.
I tried to rush what needed time, force the healing, cross the line. But patience whispered through the way, you're not late, you're not late. God does not move,
God does not move by human clock.
He builds
He builds the heart before the doors unlock.
what feels like
What feels
room.
like loss, what feels unclear is shared. God does not move. God does not move by human clock.
He builds
He builds the heart before the doors unlock.
what feels like
Feels
room.
like loss, what feels unclear is shared. Mm.
I laid my questions in the dust, where every promise feels too far. I carried faith like fragile glass, afraid it wouldn't last this dark. The road was thin, the night was wide, my thoughts like storms without a shore. I asked the sky for certainty, but silence answered something more.
Silence is not an empty place, it's where the heart learns how to hear. Some truths arrive without a sound and stay when nothing feels clear.
What breaks in you is not the end, it's soil where deeper roots are grown. What feels like loss before your eyes is shaping life you've never known.
So we remain
between the flame and the night,
learning to stand
without the light.
I tried to name what I was losing, tried to save what slipped away, but faith was never meant for holding. It breathes when you release the weight. I counted time and wounds and scars, measured hope by what I saw, but mercy
Works beyond the frame
of what the human heart calls now.
God does not speak in urgency, He writes in patience, slow and sure. What looks like ashes on the ground becomes the place where things endure. Not every miracle is loud,
Not every healing feels complete. Some wonders grow beneath the ash and rise in quiet, hidden ways. So I will stay where I am found, between my prayers and holy ground. I will stay
when strength runs thin, believing
grace is working in me.
I stopped demanding clearer skies and learned to walk by smaller signs. A steady breath, a softened heart, a peace I couldn't yet define.
The future loosened in my hands when I let go of need and prove.
Faith didn't end my questions then.
It taught me how to walk with truth,
Trust is built in fragile steps,
taken when the path is dim. You don't need fire in the dark, just enough light to follow Him. Even broken, even slow, even trembling where you stand, grace will meet you where you are.
and gently teach your heart to land. We wait without demand, without control.
We trust what we can't see and call it holy faith. If your hope feels buried deep and your strength is learned to wait,
Remember, seeds are hidden first before the dawn is allowed to break.
so I will stay until the light rises gently from this night. I will stay there
Where faith is grown from quiet
to living home. I will stay. I will stay.
I carry days like heavy stones stacked on my chest, pressed to my breast. Every thought rehearsed the worst, as if my mind was trained for death. I smiled through rooms that felt too loud, while storms kept forming in my chest. I learned to speak in quiet tones, hiding the places I felt stressed.
I held tomorrow like a debt, afraid that time would ask for more. My prayers sounded like requests, knocking on an unanswered door.
You were never meant to hold the weight of things you cannot change. Some battles form inside the soul long before they show their face. What bends your heart is now your cross. It's what you carry without grace. Release the load you call your own, and let my peace reclaim its place.
So we open tired hands and loosen all control, learning how to trust again what only God can hold.
I name my fear responsibility, call my worry being wise. I mistook tension for devotion and restless nights for sacrifice. I stayed alert for falling signs, as if disaster needed help. I guarded hope with anxious thoughts and lost myself while staying strong.
Not every burden builds your faith, some only teach your heart to wake. Faith grows light and I'm more tense when trust replaces every way.
You don't protect tomorrow's pain by suffering it ahead of time. Grace is given day by day, not borrowed from a future fight. So I lay it down, what I can't fix, what I can't see, what I can't save. I lay it down, the fear, the strain, and let your mercy carry the weight.
Something shifted when I stopped explaining why I couldn't rest. I felt the quiet move inside, like softened ground within my chest.
The future loosened in my grip when I stopped tracing every line. I learned that peace is not escape, it's trusting God with what is mine.
You don't lose strength by letting go, you gain a truer form of trust. What you release does not collapse, it settles safely in my love. I do not need your constant fear to keep the world from breaking down. I ask for faith, not vigilance, for open hearts, not clenched hands. We release
What exhausts us, we surrender. What consumes us,
We
trust what we cannot carry,
and rest in God alone. If your nights are filled with noise and your thoughts refuse to slow,
remember peace begins to rise the moment you let control go.
so I give to God
The weight I wore,
the silent fear.
I carry before
I give to God
my restless days, and learn to live by light of faith.
I give to God
Again, again, and find my heart can finally rest.
I give to God. I give to God. I walk through hours that felt unmarked, like time had lost its shape. No signposts in the quiet days, no words to help my faith. My thoughts were echoing empty halls, repeating questions back. I searched for meaning in the noise, but silence held the cracks. I filled the space with hurried prayers, afraid of what I'd find if all the sounds were stripped away and left me with my mind. Silence is not where hope dissolves, it's where the soul is named. When every voice is stepped aside and truth remains the same. You don't lose God when words run out, or when the heavens stay still. Some answers come disguised as peace and teach the heart His will. So we stay inside the hush, we listen without defense, letting quiet do its work within us. I tried to measure sacred things by movement and by sign, mistook momentum for your hand and urgency for time. I thought that waiting meant decline, that stillness was delay, but roots were stretching underground while I kept counting days. I learned the loudest growth takes place where no applause appears, where patience shapes the inner life through unnoticed years. God does not rush what He designs, nor shout to prove He's near. He speaks in tones that train the heart to listen without fear. What feels like absence is an invitation to trust beyond the sound, to learn that faith does not depend on miracles being loud. So I will listen when nothing breaks the quiet ground or shifts the space. I will listen beyond my need to name the way or force belief. Something healed when I stopped asking for noise to calm my doubt, when I released my need for signs and let the quiet speak out. I noticed breath, I noticed grace in moments I'd ignored, a steady peace, a softer strength I hadn't felt before. My prayers grew less like urgent pleas and more like open hands. I didn't lose my faith in silence, I learned how to stand. Not every season asks for speech, some ask for reverent rest. God shapes the deepest parts of you where words cannot reach yet. You don't need proof to still be held or clarity to stay. Some truths are planted silently and rise another day. We trust what grows unseen. We wait without demand. We believe that God is close, even here. If your prayers feel unfinished and your nights feel wide and bare, remember God is still at work even when you're unaware. So I remain where silence stays and learn to hear in quieter ways. I remain without a sign and find my heart aligned with His. I remain and slowly see that silence learn the sound of me. I remain, I remain, I remain, I remain.
I walked through hours that felt unmarked, like time had lost its shape. No signposts in the quiet days, no words to help my faith.
My thoughts were echoing empty halls, repeating questions back. I searched for meaning in the noise, but silence held the cries.
I fill the space with hurried prayers,
afraid of what I'd find.
If all the sounds were stripped away
and left me with my mind, silence is not
where hope is ours. It's where the soul is naked.
when every voice has stepped aside and truth remains the same.
You don't lose God when words run out,
or when the heavens stay still.
Some answers come disguised as peace
and teach the heart is weak.
So we stay
inside the head,
we listen
without preface,
getting quiet
to its word,
to its word. With it all, I try to measure sacred things, found movement in my sign. You stood momentum for your hand, and urgency for time. I thought that waiting meant to climb. The stillness was delayed, but roots were stretching underground, while I kept counting days. The lightest growth takes place when no applause appears, where patience shares
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I trace the edges of my doubt like maps that never led me home. I try to read the days ahead from signs you never wrote in stone. Each morning carried borrowed fear from futures I had not yet lived. I wore tomorrow like a weight, demanding more than today could give. I watched the hours pass me by as if they owed me clarity, but time remained a quiet stream, unmoved by all my urgency. You don't need vision to be held, nor certainty to still be safe. Some roads are meant to be walked blind, so trust can learn its quiet pace. What you can't see is not a threat, it's where my faithfulness resides. I guard the steps you do not know and walk beside you as you try. So we move without the view, we step without the proof, believe in hands unseen are guiding us. I wanted faith to feel like light, a straight horizon, sharp and clear, but often it arrived as breath, enough to take another step from fear. I mistook comfort for your will and deeds for being truly led, yet storms became the shaping ground where deeper roots of trust were spread. The unseen stretched my inner life, pulled strength from places still unnamed. I learned that what sustains the soul is rarely obvious or plain. God does not lead by what you grasp, but by what you are willing to give. Surrender opens hidden doors and teaches trembling hearts to live. You are not lost in what you lack, nor weak for asking why. Faith is formed in letting go of needing reasons just to try. So I will walk, though sight is thin, and trust the dark I'm moving in. I will walk with open hands, believing you know where I am. I stopped demanding brighter days and learned to honor where I stood. I found that grace is not escape, but staying when I never could. The future softened in my grip when I allowed it not to speak. I found a steadiness within, held by what I could not see. My prayers grew wider than my words, they stretched beyond what I could name. I wasn't sure of where I'd land, but trusted who remained the same. You are now walking on your own, though paths feel fragile underfoot. My presence fills the unseen space between each step of quiet trust. You don't outrun my watchful care, nor fall beyond my sight. What you release into the dark is safely held within my light. We trust what we can't trace. We follow without control. We believe that unseen grace is enough, is enough, is enough.
trace the edges of my doubt, like maps that never led me home. I try to read the days ahead from signs you never wrote in stone. Each morning carried borrowed fear from futures I had not yet lived. I wore tomorrow like a weight, demanding more than today could give. I watched the hours pass me by, as if they owed me clarity. But time remained a quiet stream, unmoved by all my urgency. You don't need vision to be held, no certainty to still be safe. Some roads are meant to be walked blind, so trust can learn its quiet pace. What you can't see is not a threat, it's where my faithfulness resides. I guard the steps you do not know and walk beside you as you try. So we move without the view, we step without the proof, believing hands unseen are guiding us. I wanted faith to feel like light, a straight horizon, sharp and clear. But often it arrived as breath, enough to take another step from fear. I mistook comfort for your will, and ease for being truly led. Yet storms became the shaping ground, where deeper roots of trust were spread. The unseen stretch my inner life, pull strength from places still unnamed. I learned that what sustains the soul is rarely obvious or plain. God does not lead by what you grasp, but by what you are willing to give. Surrender opens hidden doors and teaches trembling hearts to live. You are not lost in what you lack, nor weak for asking why. Faith is formed in letting go of needing reasons just to try. So I will walk, though sight is thin, and trust the dark I'm moving in. I will walk with open hands, believing you know where I am. I stopped demanding brighter days and learned to honor where I stood. I found that grace is not escape, but staying when I never could. The future softened in my grip when I allowed it not to speak. I found a steadiness within, held by what I could not see. My prayers grew wider than my words, they stretched beyond what I could name. I wasn't sure of where I'd land, but trusted who remained the same. You are not walking on your own, though paths feel fragile underfoot. My presence fills the unseen space between each step of quiet trust. You don't outrun my watchful care, nor fall beyond my sight. What you release into the dark is safely held within my light. We trust what we can't trace, we follow without control. We believe that unseen grace is enough if you're standing where the way feels thin, and tomorrow has no sound. Remember, faith is often held where answers have not yet been found. So I will stay inside the unknown and let my trust be slowly grown. I will stay and learn to stand
I stood among unfinished days, where plans fell short of what they promised.
I gathered pieces of my faith, trying to keep my courage honest.
The night arrived without a sound, no warning, no clear sign. I searched the dark for borrowed light and questioned every line.
I learned how fragile hope can feel when waiting stretches thin, when strength must rise from places I didn't know were still within.
Hope is not the absence of fear, it's standing when your knees still shake. Oh, it's choosing not to turn away when everything feels close to break. You don't protect your heart by closing or by lowering your view. Hope survives because it's rooted in what God is doing in you.
Ooh, so we hold
What almost slipped,
we stay,
when answers stall.
trusting hope will not break after all.
I watch the hours test my faith,
Like waves against a fragile shore.
each moment asking what I choose to believe in just once more.
Tried to outrun disappointment,
Pretend I wasn't tired inside,
but truth kept calling me to stay.
not flee the place where hope resides. I name my pain endurance and my silent strength.
But even hearts that keep believing sometimes reach their limit.
Hope does not demand your certainty, it only asks you not to leave.
Some victories are quiet acts
Of staying when you want relief. What bends but doesn't break in you
is learning how to stand.
Hope grows strongest in the tension between surrender and demand. So I will hope beyond my sight when nothing shifts and days feel long. I will hope against the weight that says my strength is almost gone. I noticed hope was never loud. It didn't shout to prove its place. It waited patiently inside. Oh, like breath returning after space.
I felt it stir when I stayed present,
Not chasing what I couldn't change.
hope met me in my honesty.
Not in my efforts to seem brave.
The future softened when I stopped
Rehearsing everything that failed.
learned that hope is less about answers,
More about who has prevailed. Hope is anchored deeper than outcomes, stronger than what you can explain. It does not rise from circumstance, but from the God who does not change. You don't lose hope by feeling weak or naming what you fear.
Hope lives in hearts that choose to stay.
When rescue doesn't yet appear, we remain, though tired. We believe, though worn. Trusting hope is being formed
within us.
If your heart feels close to giving in and your faith feels thin and worn,
Remember, hope is not defeated just because the dawn is slow to form.
So I will hope with open hands, not for control, but trust again. I will hope through fragile days where faith still stands, though light delays. I will hope and choose to stay until the night learns how
La 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 la.
I walk this road in measured steps, afraid of moving much too fast. Each choice felt heavier than before, each moment tied itself to past. I counted risk instead of grace. I watched the ground not where you led. I tried to guard my fragile faith by staying where I'd always been. The distance grew inside my chest
Between my fear and what you said,
I wanted peace without the cost of trusting where I'd never tread. Grace does not erase the past, it meets you where the ground is thin. It doesn't promise easy ground, it promises to walk within. You don't need courage for the whole, just faith enough for now. Grace waits between the steps you take, not only when you know the how.
so we move, not ahead of grace.
We trust the space between,
Believing God is present in every unseen step.
I learned that waiting has a voice. It speaks when striving quiets down. It teaches hearts to hear again without the need to rush the sound. I thought delay was punishment, a sign I'd failed or missed the way. But grace was shaping something slow that haste could only tear away. I felt the pull to turn around, return to what at least felt known. But grace kept whispering through the fear, you're not meant to walk alone. Grace does not compete with time, it works beyond your measured pace. Some growth requires hidden days where faith matures in silent ways.
You don't fall behind by listening, you don't lose ground by staying still. Grace fills the pauses with its work and forms the heart to trust His will.
So I will walk
Between the steps
where grace is near.
and doubt is kept,
I will walk
without the map.
believing grace will guide my path.
Something softened when I stopped demanding clarity ahead.
I felt my breath return again when trust replaced the fear I felt.
I stopped rehearsing every fall and learned to live inside the now.
Grace met me not with answers clear, but with the strength to take a vow.
My prayers grew slower, deeper still, less urgency, more open hands. I wasn't certain where I'd arrive, but trusted grace would understand.
Grace is not a distant gift reserved for endings you can see. It lives within the present step and teaches hearts how to believe.
You don't outrun what God has planned or lag behind His careful care. Grace walks beside you patiently and proves His faithfulness is there. We walk
Without demand,
we trust,
without control,
we believe that grace is working even now.
your next step feels undefined and fear keeps naming every fall.
Remember, grace is always found between the steps you think you lost.
So
We'll walk
where grace remains between the fear and faith's refrain. I will walk and learn to see that grace was always walking me. I will walk
with steady breath
held by grace in
I learned how to outrun my own heart, mistaking speed for being brave. I filled my days with forward motion, so I wouldn't feel what stayed.
I plan tomorrow in my head, as if control could keep me safe. I call my worry preparation, and my fear a form of faith. I moved ahead of what you whispered, chasing peace I couldn't find. Every step that lacked your presence left my spirit far behind.
You don't lose me when you slow down,
You don't fall behind my hand.
some things only grow in stillness.
Some truths need time to stand.
You were never late by listening,
Nor weak for choosing rest.
I walk beside the pace you take.
Not only where you run your best.
So we pause,
Without retreat,
we stop,
without defeat.
letting God reorder time inside us. I feared that stopping meant surrender,
In the way I used to fight,
but surrender was an opening.
not the absence of my might.
I noticed breath return again
When I let the rush dissolve,
Peace didn't come from reaching first, but
trusting
you were involved. I saw
how much I left behind while chasing what might come.
moments meant to shape my soul,
Lost to what was never done,
God is not impressed by hurry,
nor delayed by measured days.
He forms a heart through steady steps and
Patient,
hidden ways. What you call
wasted time with him is where your strength is grown.
He meets you when you finally stop,
And proves you're not alone.
so I will slow, stay aware of grace that waits in present air. I will slow and learn to see that God was here ahead of me. The future softened in my hands
When I stopped pulling it close,
I found my call and breathing now.
not in the next thing I propose.
I didn't lose momentum then, I gained a
Truer form of sight,
The road felt lighter underneath when
trust replaced the fight.
my prayers changed their tone and weight.
Less asking, more release.
I learned that faith is not a race, but
Choosing daily peace.
you don't miss what
God has planned by walking gently through your day.
He is not
Waiting at the end, but walking every step you take.
You don't outrun his perfect will, nor lag behind his care. He stays within the present breath and proves his nearness there. We remain within the now,
We trust
without
haste,
believing God is forming us
at this pace.
If you're tired from arriving early to places grace has not yet reached, remember God is found most clearly where hurry finally learns to leave. So I stopped running ahead and learned to walk with God instead.
I stopped demanding distant days and found his grace in present ways.
I stopped
And peace began
where trust replaced
my hurried plans.
I stopped,
Running ahead,
I stopped.
running ahead.
couldn't reach. Every promise fell asleep, every prayer out of my speech. The house was quiet, clocks too loud, my thoughts refused to rest. I carried questions through the dark, pressed heavy on my chest.
I tried to name what frightened me, but fear had learned to hide. It wore the mask of reason, thought, and waited by my side.
Midnight is where many hearts learn what they truly trust, when light is left and strength is thin and faith feels made of dust.
You lose me in the late hours when hope feels out of view. Some prayers arise most honestly when all you have is you.
So we stay
through the night,
we wait
for unseen light,
trusting God
still awake
with us another.
I learned the dark has different sounds,
a softer, slower tone.
It teaches hearts to listen deep.
Instead of feeling alone,
I stopped demanding morning fast
and let the night remain.
Something steady held my thought
and eased the edge of pain.
My breath returned in fragile waves, my mind unclenched its fight. I felt a peace I couldn't force, arrive without a lie.
Faith is not the absence of fear, it's choosing where you stand. When nothing shifts and answers stall, you place your heart in my hand.
I do not sleep while you grow tired, nor turn away unseen. I guard the hours you can't control,
and all that lies between.
So I will trust
beyond the dawn.
When waiting feels too long, too strong,
I will trust
through shadow time.
Believe in you,
you are still mine. The night did not erase my doubts,
but taught them how to rest.
They lost their power when I stopped demanding what was next. I learned that faith can sit with pain without the need to flee. That God is close in quiet rooms where no one else can see.
I didn't need a sudden sign or answers drawn in flame.
I needed only not to leave
the place where you remain.
Some victories are hidden ones,
no witness, no applause.
They happen when you choose to stay
in trust without a cause.
The night will not undo your faith,
it deepens what you know. What survives the longest dark is ready for the glow.
We remain when tired, we believe
when worn,
trusting faith
still breathe after midnight.
If the night has taught you weakness
and the hours feel too wide,
remember God is closest still.
when hope has nowhere left to hide.
So I will stay
until the light
finds its way
into this night.
And trust again that faith survives where dark has led. I will stay.
Oh, I will stay.
I will stay. I will stay. I will stay. Ooh. I will stay. I will stay.
I learned to stand with guarded hands, prepare for battles I might face. I built my strength on forward plans and called endurance a living grace.
I carried pride in quiet ways, disguised as doing what was right. I stayed alert through restless days, believing strength meant endless fight.
I fear that bending meant defeat, that yielding ground would cost me more. So I stayed tall on weary feet, ignoring what my soul implored.
Strength was never meant to harden you.
or keep your heart in constant strain.
Some power only shows its truth when you release the need to reign. You don't lose ground when you bow low or fail by choosing trust instead.
Some victories are born below,
where faith is learned and pride is shared. So we kneel without retreat, we bow without collapse, letting God redefine strength in us. I mistook silence for surrender and stillness for retreat.
I didn't know that quiet ground could teach my heart to breathe.
I asked you for a stronger will, but you asked me to rest, to lay my armor at your feet, and trust you with the rest.
I felt my defenses slowly fall,
Not crashing, but released, and found that strength returned to me. God does not ask you to be weak, He asks you to be real. The strongest hearts are shaped in places where they learn how to kneel. You don't protect your soul with walls or keep your faith alive by force. You'll find your power when you choose to trust a higher source. So I will kneel and not resist the grace that meets me in this place. I will kneel and find my strength was never lost, it changed its name.
The fight inside me softened and its grip began to fade.
I learned that faith is not a shield, but hands no longer raised.
I stopped rehearsing every thread and measure in
My mind, the weight I carried as control,
released into the night.
My prayers grew less like battle cries and more like honest breath. I didn't lose myself in trust, I found my life instead. You don't fall behind by yielding ground or lose your voice in prayer. God hears the ones who bow in truth and meets them fully there. Strength rises where surrender lives, and courage learns to stay. What kneels before the living God will always rise His way. We lay kneel without shame, without shame. We trust without fear, believing strength is reborn here. If you're tired of holding firm and fighting every day,
Remember, strength begins again
the moment you decide to pray. So I will kneel and not pretend that strength means more than trust in Him. I will kneel and stand restored, my faith renewed, my heart made sure. I will kneel and rise in grace, for strength was found in this place. I will kneel, I will kneel.
Hey, yeah. I reached the place where leaving felt easy, where doors behind me call my name. Staying asked for more than comfort, and courage felt like choosing pain.
words, rehearsed excuses. I try to justify the flight, but something deeper held my feet. When running promised quicker light.
I learned how fast relief can lie, how silence tempts the soul to go,
how quitting dresses up as wisdom when the heart is feeling now.
staying is not stubborn ground,
But fear disguised as grace.
sometimes courage wears no armor
and chooses not to leave its place.
You don't remain because it's simple or because a path is clear. You stay because love is forming where obedience costs you here.
So we remain without applause.
We stay without escape,
Trusting God is shaping strength in us.
I wanted signs that screamed assurance, proof that staying would not fail. But faith was quieter than certainty, and hope refused to set a trail.
I stood between the urge to leave and what I couldn't yet explain. The choice to stay felt unfinished, like healing that still knew pain.
I thought endurance meant resistance,
Holding breath and standing still,
but staying asked for open hands
and hearts that bend before His will.
God does not honor staying frozen
Nor reward the fear to move
He blesses hearts that choose obedience.
when they have nothing left to prove.
Staying is an act of worship
When every reason says retreat. It's trusting God with what unfolds when the future's incomplete.
So I will stay, not from fear, but from trust that you are near. I will stay when it's hard, believing grace meets me where I am. I noticed something shift within me when I released the need to know. Staying soft and sharp intentions, and taught my faith to move more slow.
I stopped defending every reason and learned to listen underneath. Peace didn't come from fixing things, it came from choosing not to leave.
The ground I feared would break apart held firmer than I'd ever known. It wasn't safety that I found, but God who stayed when I felt alone.
You don't waste the days, you remain or lose yourself by staying true. What grows when leaving feels easier is strength the world can't give to you. Staying does not mean forever, it means obedience for now.
God walks the length of
Present ground and teaches hearts when to bow. We stay without demand. We trust without control, believing God is faithful here.
If leaving sounds like freedom, staying feels too hard to choose.
Remember, courage sometimes means not moving until God moves you.
So I remain, not because I'm strong, but because grace has taught me where I belong. Mm. Yeah. Whoa. I held my days with careful hands, afraid that loss would shape my name. I guarded plans like fragile glass and called control a careful fate. I learned to brace for what might fall, to stand prepared for every change. I kept my heart in narrow rooms where hope could live but never range.
I fear that letting go would mean the end of what I tried to save. So I stay tense within the now, protecting dreams that couldn't breathe.
Letting go is not abandonment or weakness dressed in prayer.
It's trusting God with open hands instead of holding fear. You don't lose what is meant to stay when trust replaces grip.
Some things are
Kept by being released, not by the strength you give them. So we be open,
what was clenched,
we loosen what we
feared.
believing God keeps what remains in Him.
Yeah, I watched my certainty dissolve and felt the ground beneath me shift. The future slipped from my control and left behind a quieter gift. I noticed brave return again where tension used to stay. Peace didn't rush to fill the space, it settled slow and made its way.
I stopped rehearsing every loss and naming endings in advance. I found that trust begins to grow when fear is not the one in charge.
God does not ask you to predict or manage what you cannot see. He asks you only for today and gives you grace for what will be. What you release is never lost when placed inside His care. Some promise require open hands to prove they're truly there.
So I let go of what I held
Too tight
to live tight or truly tell.
I let go
And learn to see that faith survives my trust in me.
Though the weight I carried found its sin, not in answers and not in signs, but in the freedom of release that left my heart no longer tied. I learned that
Faith is not a fence to keep the future safely still. It's walking lightly through the now and trusting God with what He wills.
the road felt wider when I stopped defending every chosen way. What remained was not my fear,
But grace enough for this one day.
you don't fall apart by letting go.
Lose your place in Him.
What remains is what was rooted deep
Before your trust grew thin,
God keeps what matters through the loss and shapes the heart to see that what remains when you release is who you're meant to be.
we trust stays unseen.
We rest
Without demand,
believing God
is faithful with what remains.
yeah. If your hands are tired from holding on and your
Heart fears what comes next.
remember, peace begins to rise
The
moment you unclench.
So I really and stand
I reached the edge of what I knew, where answers failed to hold their shape. My plans grew quiet in my hands, uncertainty began to fade. I stood between what was and is, unsure of where the next step fell. I felt the pull to fill the space with reasons I could not yet tell.
The ground beneath my questions shifted, not breaking, just unknown. I learned how fragile knowing is, and faith must walk alone.
God often meets you at the edge, not where the path is clear, but where the soul has nothing left except a whispered prayer. You don't arrive with perfect trust or confidence complete. You come with honest, open hands and meet Him where you are, not where you'll be. So we stand at the edge. We wait without disguise, believing God is present here.
I tried to trace tomorrow's shade before the day had found its end. I wanted faith to calm my fear instead of teach me how to bend. But bending did not break my strength, it softened what was stiff with strain. I learned surrender doesn't fall, it leans into a deeper game.
Silence didn't leave me empty,
It asked me not to flee.
it showed me faith does not demand, but learns how to.
God does not rush you choosing hard or shame your fragile pace. He stays within the honest pause and meets you face to face.
What feels like standing on unsure ground is holy soil in disguise. Some encounters only happen
When the map before you dies, so I will stand where trust feels thin and let your presence
meet me, and I will stand without a sign, believing
you are already mine. I felt my breath return again, not certain but alive. I learned that faith does not require a reason just to try. The future loosened in my grip
when I stopped demanding proof.
God didn't hand me all the steps, He handed me His truth. I wasn't lost where answers ended, or broken where I stood. I was being met by something real, something holy, something good. You don't miss God by being unsure, or fail Him with your doubt. He draws near to the honest heart that doesn't try to hide it out. Faith is not the absence of fear, but choosing still to stay. God meets you not beyond the edge, but in the step you take today.
We trust without clarity,
we walk
without control,
believing God
still meets us
here. If you're standing where the way feels thin and certainty has slipped away,
remember God is not ahead of you, He's present in this place. So here I stand
without disguise, and meet my God before my eyes. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I carried bread like it was fragile, afraid that rest would let things fall. I stayed alert inside my thinking, as if peace required walls. Each moment asked for preparation, each thought rehearsed what could go wrong. I learned to live a half-held life, where holding on felt safer than strong. My shoulders learned the weight of days that never asked to be controlled. I called it wisdom, called it care, but it was fear that I was told.
You don't lose ground or fail by loosening your hold. Some strength is only recognized the moment tension's told to go. Rest is not retreat or loss, it's trusting what you cannot see. The place where you stop bracing yourself is where your soul meets me.
So we breathe
Without defense,
we relieve
what held us tight
believing God
is faithful here. I noticed how my prayers had changed from presence into constant need. I spoke as if you'd leave me if I didn't always lead. I filled the quiet with conclusions, named the ending before it came. I thought remaining vigilant would somehow keep you the same.
But breath returned when I stopped guarding what you never asked me to keep. The moment I allowed the pause was when my heart could finally speak.
God does not require your attention to remain close or stay involved. He rests within surrendered hearts, not leaves that must be always solved.
You don't protect tomorrow's grace by carrying it today.
Grace meets you in the honest pause where fear is laid away.
So I exhale
And trust again.
the God who holds what I can't make.
I exhale
And learn to stay inside the breath you freely gave. The world didn't collapse around me when I stopped tightening my grip.
The sky remained, the ground held firm, the future didn't slip.
I learned how much of life was lived in spaces I had rushed right through. Moments meant to form my soul when breath was slow and thought was few.
Peace didn't enter like a sound, or change the shape of every fear.
It settled like a quiet truth that God was always near.
You don't arrive at rest by force or earn it by endurance shown. Rest finds you when you trust enough to leave your armor known.
The place you feared will leave you weak is where your strength is grown. Because the soul that finally breathes
Is never left alone.
we
rest
without condition. We trust without control, believing God is present now.
If your chest feels tight with holding on and your thoughts refuse release,
Remember, peace begins its work the moment you decide to breathe.
so here I breathe
Without demand,
and find my life
still in His hand. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I counted failures like they defined me, marked each misstep in careful lines. I carried shame as silent evidence that grace had limits drawn in time.
I learned to lower expectations, to soften hope before it fell. I lived as if forgiveness waited on proof that I had done things well.
My prayer stayed cautious, almost distant, as if I needed to explain why mercy should still find its way to places I had stained.
Mercy never waits for readiness or perfect words to hear. It arrives where truth is. Broken hearts are stripped of fear. You don't earn mercy by improving or lose it when you fall. Mercy stays when strength is gone and answers every call.
So we call
Without defense, we speak what hurts inside, believing mercy is already here.
I expected judgment in the quiet, a measured pause before the end. But what I found was patient presence that did not leave or bend.
The weight I named my consequence was met with open It disarmed my inner storms.
Oh, I stopped rehearsing self-accusation.
Let the silence stand.
Not empty, but inhabited by grace I hadn't planned.
God does not delay His kindness or ration second chances. Then mercy moves at heaven's pace and meets you where you've been. What do you regret does not outrun the love that calls you home. Mercy follows wounded hearts and never leaves them alone.
So I receive what I can't repay, a love that stays when words fall away. I receive without disguise the mercy waiting in your eyes.
I learned forgiveness isn't sudden. It settles slowly in the chest, like breath returning after fear, or calm that learns to rest. The past no longer spoke the loudest. Its voice began to fade. Mercy rewrote how I was named and softened every shade.
I didn't forget the roads I'd taken, or pretend the pain was small. I simply learned my future was not owned by them at all.
Mercy does not erase your story. It redeems the way it's told. It gathers fragments of your life and makes them whole. You don't move forward by denying what mercy has forgiven through you. Move ahead by trusting grace. It's stronger than what you knew. We trust what restores us.
We rest
Inside His care.
believing mercy has been waiting.
Then, if your past feels louder than hope and your heart fears being known, remember mercy already waits before you walk that road alone. So here I stand with nothing hid, and find I'm held just as I am. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. I spend my prayers explaining reasons as if you needed to be convinced. I brought you lists of all my worries and called persistence being wise. I argued faith into the ground, demanded clarity from pain. I asked you to defend your timing while holding tight to my own plans. I thought that trust and meant agreement, that peace required understanding. I stayed alert inside my questions, afraid of what might come from landing.
You don't arrive at trust by winning or by exhausting every doubt. Some peace is born when words grow quiet and the heart stops arguing out. God does not fear your honest questions, but He waits beyond the noise for the moment when your spirit learns how to listen more than voice.
So we
Quiet,
what resist,
break, we loosen,
what insist.
believing God is faithful still.
I noticed how my prayers grew lighter when I stopped forcing every thought. Silence didn't steal my faith, it gave me room to breathe again. I learned that answers lose their power when they're demanded as a shield, but truth arrives with gentler weight when trust no longer has to yield. The tension needs its grip inside me, not because I understand understood, but because I finally allowed what is to simply be what could.
God does not require surrender to come with reasons neatly tied. He meets the soul that stops debating and lets him stand on either side. Faith deepens when the heart grows still, not empty but aware. Some truths can only be received when you are no longer there to fight them. So I will trust without debate and let my faith arrive by grace.
I will trust and let it be that God is God and that is peace.
I felt my breath return again as thoughts release their hold. The need to be right faded out and left my heart less cold. I stopped defending every fear and naming endings in advance. The quiet didn't answer all, but gave my faith a chance. I learned that
rest is not collapse or losing what I knew. It's standing firm without a fight and letting God be true.
you don't lose yourself by yielding ground or fail by letting go. The strongest faith is often found where hearts stop saying no.
God is not proven by your effort or weakened by your pause. He waits beyond your arguments and meets you where you are.
We rest, we rest
Without reason,
we trust without proof, believing God is enough here. If your prayers have turned to questions and your thoughts refuse to cease,
remember faith begins to rise the moment the heart finds peace.
so here I stand, no longer loud, and find my God beyond the sound.
Try to carry holy question like answers rested in my hands. I shape my faith around conclusions, enforce your truth into my plans.
I spoke your name with hidden limits, defined your work by what I knew. Trusted you, but only partly. When outcomes felt familiar too.
I asked you to confirm my vision, to bless the road I chose to walk. I called it faith, but underneath I feared surrender
More than loss, God is not contained by reason, nor shaped by what you understand. He does not wait for your permission to move beyond your careful plans.
You don't lose faith by letting go, or fall apart by stepping back. You find your place when you allow God to be God beyond your map. So we release the need to lead. We loosen every claim, believing God is I noticed peace arrive unannounced when I stopped telling you the way. The weight of being almost right slipped quietly and drifted away. Oh,
my prayers grew fewer explanations. Yeah, yeah. More presence, less demand. Oh yeah, I didn't feel the need to manage. Oh yeah, what was safer in your hands?
The fear of losing control was louder than the fear of pain. But trust began where pride grew tired and yielded space for grace to reign. God does not shrink when you surrender or fade when you step aside. He fills the space you stop defending and walks where ego used to guide.
What feels like loss of solid ground is freedom, learning how to stand. You're not less faithful letting go.
You're finally placing trust in Him. So I let go of being sure and trust the truth that will endure. I let go and learn to see that God was God despite of me. The future softened in my thinking when I stopped holding it so tight. I learned that faith is not direction, but walking with a living light. Oh, I didn't need to name the outcome, oh, or guard the way it had to be. Hey, God stayed God without my effort. Hey, and that was more than enough for me. Oh, I felt my heart regain its posture, not higher, just a line. Faith wasn't losing all control, it was leaving fear behind. You don't diminish God by trusting or weaken Him by rest. He has been God before your doubt and will be God beyond your best. Letting God be who He is where true worship starts. Not in control or certainty, but open, yielded hearts. We trust without condition. We rest without demand. Believing God remains God always. Yeah. If you're tired of carrying answers and shaping how God should appear, remember, peace begins the moment you stop trying to lead Him here. Oh, so here I stand with open hands and let my God be who He is. Be who He is. Be who He is. Who is? Oh, I feel the moment everything would shift, that what I trusted would give way. I learned to brace for sudden ending and carry caution through my days. I watch the signs with careful eyes,
Prepared for loss I couldn't name. I thought that faith meant staying ready for the collapse I couldn't tame. My heart rehearsed unfinished endings, as if control could
to break you.
Not every pause means ground will fail.
Some places hold more than you notice.
Even when the path feels frail,
You don't stand firm by constant tension.
or guarding every hidden fear.
The ground that holds you is not fragile when God himself is standing here. So we remain,
Loud and cheap,
we trust,
what holds beneath.
believing God is steady still. I learned the earth beneath my doubt was stronger than I ever knew. The things I feared would not survive, would never mind to see me through.
I loosen grip on worst conclusions and let the moment simply be. The ground didn't ask for certainty, it asked for trust inside of me. I
Stop predicting every fall and naming cracks before they showed. Peace found space within my thinking when fear released the post-it old.
God does not build on fragile ground or places children where they fall. What he establishes will stand through unseen storms and silent calls.
What feels uncertain to your sight is anchored deeper than your fear. The ground that doesn't move beneath you is faithfulness already here.
So I will stand without demand
And trust the place I'm in right now.
without demand.
And trust the place I'm in right now.
Without demand.
I will stand
And we'll stand.
and learn to see that God has been
Supporting me.
The future lost its sharp insistence when I stopped leaning on its weight. I learned that now was not a trap, but space where trust could learn to wait.
I didn't need a stronger surface or proof beneath my feet. I needed faith enough to stand where God and moment meet.
My prayers grew simpler,
Less alert,
more present.
less prepared.
I stood where I was once afraid and found the ground was there.
You don't remain by holding tight or proving how much you can bear. You stand because the one who holds you is already standing there.
What keeps you steady is not strength
Or wisdom learned by strain.
It's knowing God does not withdraw when questions still remain.
We trust,
Without measure,
we stand,
without fear,
we stand.
believing God is faithful here.
We trust,
Without measure,
we stand,
without fear.
we stand. If you fear, the ground will give way, and doubt keeps watching every sound.
Remember, God does not abandon the place where He has set you down.
So here I stand,
And do not flee.
the ground that holds was holding me.
The night arrives with heavy breath.
Pulled all the color from the day.
I thought the dark had final words and light had quietly slipped away.
I counted hours like open wounds, each minute slow, each second loud. I listened for a reason to hope, but silence formed a thicker cloud.
My thoughts rehearsed their darkest ends.
As if the night could seal my fate.
I feared the dark would claim the story before the morning learned to wait.
The night has never owned the ending or held the keys to what will rise. It only shows what still believes when sight has left your eyes.
You don't defeat the dark by shouting or force the dawn to appear. You trust that light remembers you even when it's not yet here. So we endure
Without escape,
we trust
through unseen hours,
believing light is still alive beyond the night. teach restraint and train the heart to stay. It strips away your imagined strength and shows what truly prays.
The night did not erase my trust, it pressed it into bone.
I found a faith that didn't shine but stayed when left alone.
God does not sleep through your long nights or miss a single tear. He walks the hours you cannot name and keeps your future near.
What feels like endless shadow now is not the truth that stays. The night is only passing through, it does not choose your day. So I will trust, be on my side and hold a hope. Through borrowed light I will trust, though dawn delays, believing God still names my days. The night began to lose its voice when I stopped arguing with fear. I didn't need to conquer it, I needed only to remain here.
I learned that waiting has a shape, not empty, not resigned. It leans toward morning quietly with faith that does not climb.
My prayers grew fewer explanations, more presence than demand. I stayed awake with quite a hope and placed my life in His hand.
You don't lose ground by staying present or fail by feeling weak. The night reveals a deeper trust for those who dare to see.
Morning is not built on panic or earned by restless fight. It
Rises where the heart believes. The night did not win the race. We remain through shadow. We trust through time.
Believing God is writing light
From night.
If darkness feels like final truth, then wait and test your sight. Remember, night is never won, it only guards the light.
So here I stay until the dawn. The night is past, but faith goes on.
Ooh, yeah. Oh. I still believe and felt like logic or comfort called my name. I lined up reasons in my mind and labeled stay in pain. I weighed the cost of every step, measured loss against relief. I tried to choose the safer road and called it wise belief. My heart prepared for quick escape, as if delay was wrong. I didn't know that staying still was where my trust grew strong.
Not every door that opens leads to where your life should go. Some truths are found by standing firm and letting roots grow slow.
You don't remain because it's easy or fear what lies ahead. You stay because obedience speaks deeper than was said. So we stay,
We wait,
without excuse,
we wait,
without retreat,
believing God is working truth in us. I thought that faith meant moving forward, never pausing, never bent. But trust began where hurry stopped and breath was finally spent. I learned how much a fear disguises as wisdom dressed in calm. How leaving often promises a peace that won't be long.
staying felt unfinished and rough, like prayers without a close. But something sacred filled the space where patience chose to grow.
God does not rush your becoming or pull you past your pace. He stays within the present step and fills the waiting place. What feels like standing still to you is growth you cannot see. bear shape through faithful constancy.
So I will stay and trust the slow unfolding word.
I do not know.
I will stay and learn to see
that God is forming patience in me.
I stopped rehearsing all the exits and learned to face the now. The urge to flee grew quiet when trust showed me the how. I didn't need to solve the moment or name the final end. I needed only not to leave the place where you defend. Peace didn't rush to meet my choice. It settled when I stayed and showed me faith is sometimes built by paths you do not trade. You don't fall behind by remaining or lose your strength by pause. God works within the ordinary and sanctifies the cause.
What you endure with open hands will not be left unseen. The trust you find by staying put becomes what holds you in.
We remain without demand. We trust
without control, believing God
is faithful.
If leaving feels like wisdom now and staying feels unclear,
Remember, trust is sometimes born when you decide to remain here.
So here I stay and let it be the trust I sought was shaping me. Ooh, yeah.
I waited for hope to shout my name, to break the silence wide and clear. I thought it came with sudden light and vanished every trace of fear. I searched the sky for bold replies, for signs that could not be denied. But hope arrived in quieter ways and stood with me where doubts reside.
I mistook volume for assurance and noise for something true. I didn't know that hope prefers to speak when shouting's through.
Oh, hope does not demand attention
or rush to prove its worth.
It moves in gentle, patient tones and learns the shape of earth.
You don't miss hope when days feel plain or nights refuse to end. Some promises are whispered low, so fear won't overhear them.
So we listen
without demand.
We wait
with open hearts, believing hope is speaking still
within us. I learned that hope can share a room with questions left unresolved. It doesn't flee from fragile faith or ask that pain be solved. I felt it rise in simple acts, a breath, a step, a choice. It didn't silence every doubt, but softened every voice. The weight of waiting shifted then, not lifted, but rearranged. Hope didn't move the circumstance. It taught my heart to change.
God does not wrap his promises in thunder or display. He plants them deep within the soul to grow another day. What seems too small to matter now will one day stand revealed. Hope often enters quietly, so it cannot be concealed.
So I will trust
the subtle sound
of hope that
stays when none is found.
I will trust
what softly grows beyond the reach of what I know.
I stop demanding louder proof and learn to honor what remained. The steady pull to roar tomorrow that faith could not explain.
Hope shaped my posture more than plans. It taught my heart to lean, not forward into certainty, but present in between. I found that courage does not roar or challenge every fear. Sometimes it simply does not leave when silence draws you near. You don't run it to spare by force or conquer it with might. Hope settles where the soul decides to stay another night. It grows where trust allows the dark to do its quiet part, and teaches wounded hearts to hear what's forming in the heart. We remain in quiet trust. We believe without proof, believing hope still speaks here. Now if you've been waiting for a sign and nothing breaks the air,
Remember, hope may already speak in ways you almost missed right there.
So here I stand and listen close. The day hope spoke was not the loudest, but the one I chose.
I wanted faith to move like fire that burned away the space of doubt. I thought belief was forward motion, a constant rush to figure out. I measured trust by answered prayers and counted time by open doors. I thought delay meant something failed, oh, that I missed what mattered most.
My heart grew restless in the waiting, as if stillness was a sign that heaven had grown distant or forgotten me in time. Oh,
Faith was never meant to hurry or outrun the work of God. Some truths arrive by standing still on unannounced quiet ground.
you don't lose faith by waiting long, or fail by staying slow. Faith learns its deepest language in places you don't go.
So we wait
Without demand,
we try
what we can name,
believing God is faithful.
here I learned how much of my impatience wore the mask of holy zeal. I confused desire for direction and movement for what's real.
Waiting felt like falling backward, like releasing what I knew. But faith kept forming underneath, where trust was growing new. I stopped insisting on the outcome and listened for the now. The waiting didn't end my calling, it showed me where I stand. God does not delay his purposes or forget the steps you take.
He builds endurance in the soul. soul while shaping what will wait.
What feels like pause is often preparation,
Hidden from your sight,
faith matures in unseen rooms long before it meets the light. So I will wait.
I cannot resist.
The holy word
I cannot fix.
I will wait and learn to see that faith is growing quietly.
I cannot resist. I cannot fix.
I will wait and learn to see that faith is growing quietly.
The silence stopped accusing me when I let it simply stay. I learned that faith does not demand to understand the way.
My prayers grew less impatient, more honest, less arranged.
I trusted God was still at work even when nothing changed.
Waiting didn't shrink my vision, it refined what I could hold.
It taught my heart to recognize the value of the slow.
You don't waste the days of waiting or lose the ground you stand.
God is present in the process more than in the plan.
What you think is standing still is strength being aligned.
Faith that learns to wait on God is never left behind.
We remain
Without control, we trust without proof.
believing faith is being formed now.
If the waiting feels too heavy and the answers feel delayed,
Remember, faith is not in motion, but in trusting God's own pace. So hey,
I'll wait with open hands and let my faith become